What's up everyone, Soldier First Class here. In today's mission, Remake director Tetsuya Nomura stated recently that Materia will work the same in Final Fantasy VII Remake as it did in the original. In a recent interview with Famitsu magazine, Tetsuya Nomura revealed a few details about the remake. However, after the article was released, they changed it to include a question they had asked about Materia. After Materia had been glanced over at E3, fans were still wondering how the system would look and work. Nomura revealed a few things, but it wasn't much. However, he did confirm that Materia will be visible on weapons and equipment. This is something we already knew from the trailers, but according to Nomura, they will also be shown on armor as well, something we hadn't previously seen. To start, he was asked if the Materia system was similar to the original. Nomura replied, "Basically the same. As with the original version, it is also a strategy to put in the slots of weapon and armor. I'm interested to see how Materia will affect the user this time around. It sounds as if the checks and balances of Materia will be returning. Magic and summon Materia, while useful, had benefits and downfalls for each. Your magic and magic defense would raise, but your HP could be reduced by as much as 10%. I'm excited to see how this will play out in the new combat system, considering they've already talked about the characters being less blank slates this time around. Materia could be used as more of a job system this time, and that's definitely interesting to think about. Do you create the glass cannon that is all or nothing, or do you play it safe and create a well-balanced character? This customization could be one of the best systems in an action RPG that we've ever seen." He also talked about the Materia as it pertained to the action-style combat. He stated, "As the battle system is being revamped, there will be new Materias added, as well as some of the old Materias removed. This actually makes a lot of sense because there are Materias that made sense in a turn-based setting that don't really make sense in an action setting. We'll still see our familiar Materias like Fire, Ice, Lightning, and Restore, but we'll be seeing new ones along the way. This was made evident not only by Nomura's statements, but also the pre-order DLC for the game. The Choco Chick, Cactuar, and Carbuncle are all new to Final Fantasy VII, and all three will be available for those that pre-order certain versions of the game. Summoning is one of my favorite parts of the franchise, so I'm interested to see the animations for these new summons. No word yet on how these summons will actually work this time around, but if they're anything like the original, they'll more than likely be an animation, damage dealt, and then the fight continues. However, we'll likely see Carbuncle and Hades doing their thing, as status effects have made their return to the game. Now back to Nomura's statements. Some that come to mind when talking about removed content are 2 and 4 times cut, cover, and slash all. The reason I could see these being removed is because in this action combat, it appears that you'll already be able to hit multiple enemies at once. Because each character will have the ability to block and dodge on their own, it wouldn't make much sense to have an entire Materia slot dedicated to cover. These Materias will likely be removed due to the nature of the combat. However, there are Materias I could see being reworked instead of completely removed. Sneak Attack is one that comes to mind because while it appears not much sneaking will be done, it could be reworked to do more damage instead of outright causing preemptive strikes. Because enemies are no longer random encounters, the formula for this Materia doesn't make much sense anymore. However, if you were to sneak up on an enemy, the Materia could increase your damage dealt to that enemy. That would be a way to keep that Materia in the game without completely removing it. There are several Materia that could be reworked in this way. Time Materia is one that comes to mind. While your characters don't necessarily have to move faster, their ATB bars could fill up much faster with haste. This would give the character the advantage of more powerful attacks more often. I think what I'm most interested in, other than summons, is the combinations we'll be able to come up with. The combination material will likely all be there, as it makes sense that all or elemental would make the cut. These Materias give spells or equipment special properties and would help boost your characters against certain enemy types. This goes along with Nomura's earlier statements about each character having enemy affinities based on type. Let's say there's a flying enemy with a weakness to lightning attacks. Barret, for example, might be strong against flyers. Equip him with lightning materia and elemental, and he could wreak havoc with just his regular attacks alone. This would almost double his damage output on those enemies. This is just one example of many that could take place in this action combat format. Overall, there's a lot of potential with this new Materia system, and with Nomura confirming that it will function the same as the original, fans' worries should be eased a little bit to know this. While we still don't know what Materia will or won't make the cut, we can assume that the more useless Materia will not be included in the game. There's a lot of mystery surrounding this game, but the coming months will contain announcements that will hopefully answer those questions. Some of those questions include save data transfer between parts and material leveling and progression. Hopefully we'll know the answers to all of that soon. Before I go, as promised, I'd like to give a special shout out to my new Patreon supporters, Omega Katana 92, Bahamut King of Dragons, Angel, and Game.Film. Thanks for your continued support, guys, and for helping me make my dream of becoming a full-time YouTuber one step closer to reality. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to Omni-slash that like button. Let me know in the comments section below what Materia you hope are in the remake. Subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell to join the ranks of Soldier today. And for all the latest Final Fantasy VII Remake news, rumors, and trailers, I'm Soldier First Class, and I'm on to the next mission. Later, guys.